Hello, students, and welcome back to biology. Have you ever enjoyed a juicy mango or a crunchy apple and wondered, how did a tiny flower give rise to this delicious fruit with seeds inside? The secret lies in a remarkable process called fertilization. Fertilization is the fusion of the male gamete carried by pollen with the female gamete or egg cell inside the ovule. This event marks the true beginning of new life in plants. It is this union that creates the zygote, the first cell of the next generation. Without fertilization, no seed and no fruit can ever form. Now let's see what happens after pollination. Once a pollen grain lands on the stigma, it does something fascinating. It germinates. A thin pollen tube emerges and begins to grow down through the style. Guided by special chemical signals, this pollen tube makes its way towards the ovary. Inside it, the two male gametes travel, just like passengers in a protective tunnel. This is nature's delivery system, making sure the gametes safely reach the ovule. When the pollen tube reaches the ovule, it enters through a small opening called the micropyle. Here, it releases the two male gametes into the embryo sac. One of these gametes fuses with the egg cell to form a diploid zygote. This act of union between gametes is called syngamy. It is this zygote that eventually develops into an embryo, the future plant. And now comes one of the most extraordinary features of flowering plants, double fertilization. The first fusion, or syngamy, creates the diploid zygote. The second male gamete fuses with the two polar nuclei present in the central cell of the embryo sac. This fusion results in a triploid cell, which develops into the endosperm. The zygote becomes the embryo, while the endosperm becomes the nutritive tissue that feeds the developing seed. Isn't it incredible that one process ensures both the baby plant and its packed lunch? After fertilization, amazing transformations take place. The zygote begins dividing and gradually develops into an embryo. The ovule itself transforms into a seed protected by seed coats. Meanwhile, the ovary enlarges and matures into a fruit that encloses the seed or seeds. This is why a pea flower develops into a pod filled with peas, or why mango flowers turn into fleshy fruits. Every fruit you eat is a product of these changes. So why is fertilization so important? First, it ensures genetic continuity, passing on hereditary information from parent to offspring. Second, it promotes variation, especially when combined with cross-pollination, helping plants adapt to new environments. Third, it produces seeds and fruits which form the foundation of our diet and agriculture. From rice and wheat to mangoes and beans, every crop we depend on is a result of fertilization. Finally, this process represents an evolutionary marvel. Plants have evolved countless strategies to make fertilization successful. Scientists have even observed fertilization under the microscope. By staining pollen grains with special dyes, researchers watched them germinate on stigmas and grow tubes towards the ovules. In lilies, detailed studies in the late 19th century provided the first clear evidence of fertilization in flowering plants. Such experiments gave concrete proof that fertilization is indeed the union of gametes, a fact we often take for granted when we eat fruits and seeds. So, let's quickly recap. Fertilization is the fusion of male and female gametes, creating a zygote that develops into an embryo. We saw how pollen tubes deliver gametes, how syngamy occurs, and how flowering plants perform double fertilization. We also explored the changes that follow, ovules becoming seeds, ovaries forming fruits, and we understood why fertilization is essential for life, food, and evolution. Isn't it breathtaking that a tiny fusion inside a flower can give rise to the food we eat and the biodiversity we cherish? I hope today's session has opened your eyes to the miracle of fertilization. Remember, every fruit on your plate and every grain of rice in your meal is the result of this hidden biological wonder. Biology truly is the science of life in all its beauty. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep marveling at the wonders around you.